Good evening, it is January 3rd, 2026, and the world has just changed overnight. In a move that historians will be analyzing for decades, United States Special Forces have executed a high-risk dawn raid in the heart of Caracas, Venezuela. The headline is confirmed Nicolás Maduro has been captured. At approximately 2 a.m. local time, residents of the Venezuelan capital were awoken by the sound of low-flying helicopters and heavy explosions near the Fuerte Tiuna military complex. Hours later, President Donald Trump confirmed via Truth Social that the U.S. military, in conjunction with federal law enforcement, had successfully detained the Venezuelan leader and his wife, Cilia Flores. They have been flown out of the country and are reportedly en route to the United States to face federal narco-terrorism charges. This is not a drill. This is a decapitation strike on a sitting government. Today we break down the timeline of the raid, the massive power vacuum now gripping South America, and the global reaction that is already splitting the world in two. Let's reconstruct exactly what happened in the last 12 hours. The operation appears to have been a coordinated strike involving the U.S. Army's elite, Delta Force, and intelligence support from the CIA. Sources indicate the raid targeted three specific locations: Fuerte Tiuna, the main military headquarters in Caracas, the La Carlota airbase, and strategic communications antennas at El Volcan. Witnesses on the ground reported hearing detonations and seeing fires burning at the military complex before the city went silent. Unlike previous attempts or coup plots, this was a direct, unilateral U.S. action. The airspace over Venezuela was effectively shut down by American air superiority assets to pave the way for the extraction teams. By 4:26 a.m. Eastern Time, the operation was over. President Trump's message was blunt. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela. Maduro has been captured. This operation comes just days after the U.S. increased the bounty on Maduro to $50 million, signaling that the window for a negotiated exit had officially closed. Why now, and on what legal grounds? U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has just issued a statement saying Maduro and his wife will face the full wrath of American justice. The legal framework for this capture dates back to the 2020 indictments filed in the Southern District of New York. The U.S. Department of Justice charges Maduro not just as a dictator, but as the leader of the Cartel de los Soles, a drug trafficking organization allegedly embedded within the Venezuelan military. The charges include narco-terrorism, cocaine importation conspiracy, and possession of destructive devices. By designating him a criminal target rather than a political enemy, the administration is bypassing traditional rules of engagement, treating this as a massive law enforcement extraction operations, similar to the capture of Panama's Manuel Noriega. Exactly 35 years ago this week. History, it seems, is rhyming. But removing the head of state leaves a dangerous void. Who is in charge of Venezuela right now? The situation on the ground is chaotic. Vice President Delcy Rodríguez has appeared on state TV demanding proof of life for the president, claiming the government remains in control. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez has declared a state of external commotion. Effectively, martial law and vowed that the armed forces will resist this imperialist aggression. However, the opposition sees this differently. Edmundo González, the man widely recognized by the West as the winner of the disputed 2024 elections, is currently in exile in Spain. The question is, will he return? And will the Venezuelan military, now leaderless, fracture? We are watching for mass defections or a bloody crackdown. The international reaction was immediate and polarized. The world has effectively split down the middle. Russia has called this an act of armed aggression, warning that this violates international sovereignty. Iran and Cuba have issued similar fury statements. Colombia is in the most precarious position. President Gustavo Petro has called for an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council, fearing that the conflict could spill over his border. He did not receive advance warning of the strike. European leaders are urging restraint but have largely remained quiet on condemning the act itself, with many reiterating that Maduro lacked legitimacy. In the U.S., the move has drawn praise from Republican hawks like Senator Marco Rubio, while some Democrats are questioning the legality of a war launched without congressional approval. While the eyes of the world are on Caracas, a tragic story is unfolding in Europe. We are following the aftermath of a horrific fire in the Swiss ski resort of Crans-Montana during New Year's celebrations at the Lay Constellation Bar. Sparklers attached to champagne bottles reportedly ignited soundproofing foam on the ceiling. The resulting blaze has killed 40 people and injured over 100 others. It is a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life, even in moments of celebration. Swiss authorities have launched a full criminal investigation into safety violations at the venue. Back to Venezuela, what happens in the next 24 hours is critical. We are watching three things. First, the oil markets. Prices are already spiking on uncertainty. Second, the streets. Will the Venezuelan people pour into the streets to support the opposition, or will fear keep them inside? Third, the trial. We expect the first images of Nicolás Maduro in U.S. custody to emerge later today. This is the end of an era for Chavismo, but the beginning of a very uncertain chapter for the Americas. We will keep you updated as this story develops. Stay tuned.